Good morning, class, and welcome back to Doodling with Purpose, your week-by-week guide to learning ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, which, hey, whether you're stuck at home, deliberately home, or just hanging out at home, it's a fun thing to do. All right, we started this a couple years back. We're still going forward, and we're going to combine everything. It's all coming together. Your homework from last week, which I did not make a spelling error on this time, I gave you a quick tip for those students that are new to the class that first word is myrrh, with MR followed by the open mouth R sound, which is the word love. We're going to start to increase more vocabulary from the past. What we really want to focus on, though, is the process, which is transliterating. And you'll see that's the first thing I did was label each letter the correct sound, noting any of the sound notations. So in particular, the T, which for the moment I'm using a capital, so it's not mixed up with a religious symbol or an ankh. I put the dash under it so that you know which T to pronounce, in this case a T sound. So, and of course labeling the determinatives as well. So it makes the words love, dog, statue, which are all words from the recent vocabulary from last week. And we're using simple sentences at the moment. We're going to kick this back into high gear with structure starting next week. All right, so if you're taking love, dog, statue, remembering that in ancient Egyptian there are no articles, the, an, or a. So simply inserting them makes it the dog loves the statue, using English reference, if you will. Okay, quick look at the alternatives. No, not the rock band, the alternative one consonant sounds. There's 4 common ones. There are others, but basic ones are these here: your wave, your crown of Upper Egypt, your double stroke, diagonal, and your statue base. That's what you're looking at here. These are the same sounds as other single consonants, your W, your N instead of your water, your Y instead of the 2 papyrus, and your M instead of the owl. Essentially, different times in the Old and Middle Kingdom, they used different versions. The only one that's a little tricky to draw out is the N here. So above I wrote out a stroke diagram so you can see it can be done in about 9 strokes. There's some tricky ones in the middle, like when you have to do that sort of a backwards C for the inside of the crown. And then of course there's the flourish. I'll draw it out here so it's a little easier, but you can always pause and go back. Or go back to the original version of this glyph in the first part of the series. And there's the flourish. Whoop. It's a fun glyph to draw. All right, so those are the alternative sounds, and again, go back to the beginning of part 1 of this course. I'd go much more into detail. In this second set, we're looking at sounds, and that's why we're now getting to the bilateral sound. So that's a double consonant, like sh, although this is written with actually 3 consonants, double H. You could also write it just SH. That would be the sound you're actually hearing. Hence, it's versus 3 whole sounds, like SHW. All right, and our first bilateral glyph is the chisel, which is ob. And again, noting the very important punctuation sound mark. With the comma, making it ah, like father. So you remember back when we were going through the single consonants, the same sound marks are going to apply. We just are now going to have 2 consonants next to each other. So ob, done in a pretty simple 8-stroke pattern. You can follow the diagram here, or again, go back to the first part of the course, probably around lesson 20, 30 or so. All right, here's a word using our friend ob, the chisel there. So we have the chisel, the foot, and 2 papyrus leaves, followed by an animal. All right, so you can probably already guess the definition of this, and let's see if you can, based on the rules that we've talked about. The first step, of course, transliterating, and that's what we've done here, is we've written the sound with the sound complements. And you'll notice there are 2 B sounds next to each other. So whenever this occurs, if there's a single consonant sound that's following a double consonant sound, this is a reflective sound. So it's reflecting the final consonant of the 2 consonant sound, in this case B. And that means you don't pronounce it. It's not there to be pronounced, it's there to remind you that the glyph you just read is a double consonant sound. So if you remember, oh, it's A and something else, you look to the next one and you say, oh, B, right, A-B, ob. The B, the foot, is there to remind you that the B sound is the last part of the glyph sound that you just read, because it's either a double or triple consonant sound. We'll get to the triples eventually. All right, so crossing out the B's, now we have that Y, so we are pronouncing this ah-B, not Abby, but like father, ah-B. And again, looking at that determinative at the end, you can probably guess already what this word is. We've talked about anytime there's a person doing something or an animal as the determinative at the end, then that's pretty much 90% of the time that is the name of that object, in this case a jaguar or panther. It's been translated both ways. I see it more as a jaguar because, spots, but I guess there are panthers that have spots too, just not, from Wakanda. All right, now another ob word. So here we have the chisel followed by the foot by the chick, and hopefully I've drawn that determinative that you know what it is because, I'm not the greatest artist, but yes, that is an elephant. So you obviously know what this word is. This is the word abu, which is elephant. And we also see that reflective B in the middle, where the one single consonant sound is repeating the second part of the consonant from the first sound. So AB followed by B means that that second B is just reminding you. It's jogging your memory, much like determinatives do. So we'll pronounce elephant abu, abu. The W also being a letter signifying multiples and or large, or small. Well, it's funny, small. I should say small animals, even though in this case an elephant is a very large animal. And to remind you about drawing determinatives like this, because there are literally thousands of them, anytime it's an animal, you start with the neck. As long as you're starting with the neck and then following up around the nose, in this case a very big nose, and then back around to the ear, in the case a big ear, and back down to draw the feet, and around back connecting to the neck. And then after that you can add little details such as the eye, and in this case with the elephant there is an ear, sort of a V with a little hook on one side, and that's the detail mark for the inside of the ear of the elephant. I wouldn't worry about mastering this stuff for now because determinatives, again, there's thousands of them. The key here though is the fact that the determinative can change the meaning of a word. So here's indeed, because we've already seen this word, abua, with an elephant at the end, and it's the word for elephant. But what happens when you swap determinatives? And now, instead of the elephant, you have the harpoon. All right, well, we're still going to pronounce it abua, and how do you know that the harpoon at the end is not meant to be pronounced with a kus sound? Because it is a two consonant. So we'll get to that in a second. So first, same word, same reflection, same cancellation of the double B, so abua, kus. Well, we're not going to say kus, and again, noticing the dot under the K, which means this is the QK, the K sound, not the K sound. That's sort of the whole point of what we're doing right now is making sure we're paying note of those things. All right, so with it being a harpoon at the end here, how do you know it's not to be pronounced as words? Well, we've already hit a W, and W's usually end a word. There's your clue. Anytime you see a W, you're pretty much at the end. And since this is a harpoon, and we know this is also the word for elephant, what are harpoons made of? They were made of ivory. Hence why the same word for elephant, when swapped out for a harpoon, can mean ivory. All right. So I have started a new homework assignment here, and as I said, with this one and starting next week, we're going to start to reintroduce all of the structure from the first half of the class as we continue to build vocabulary. But it's important to transliterate this with all of the sound indication marks and then write out your transliteration, then translation. Please like this video, subscribe, share it with friends. It's what tells YouTube to keep sharing it with other people and helps build the student base. Thank you so much for watching. Comment, questions, anything you need below, and I'll make sure I comment back. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.